Hey guys, it is Damek here and welcome back to episode 11 of my Caterham My Team Career Mode here on F1 at 26. If you didn't see last episode, I would highly recommend you go back and check it out. What a time to be Caterham, what a race, what an event. I just cannot believe what happened last time. I would highly recommend you check it out. If you did see it, you would know a 6th place for Roman Stanek in the Austrian Grand Prix has boosted the morale throughout the whole team. What a time to be Caterham F1 team. What a return to Formula 1. It all started in Q2 with the rain falling and we got a good qualifying position and we just converted it. We had to fight off a few of the better cars. We had top drivers struggling. It was just all go last time out. But Lando Norris won again after 4 races in a row of finishing 5th. But we currently sit 7th in the Constructors, 9 points ahead of RB and 5 points behind Alpine. We closed up by 4 points in the last race with that magnificent result. I'm just going to keep talking about it. I'm hoping we can carry it on today for the British Grand Prix, where we will be driving as the home hero. Cian Shields will be driving as Cian for his home Grand Prix and hoping to deliver some more points for the team. We do have one upgrade coming into this Grand Prix. It is the front wing end plates drag reduction. We're going to give it to Cian Shields. I know we're driving as him, but he probably needs the upgrades at this point in time for the AI to be a bit better, and then Stanek will get them later on. Roman Stanek's getting most of the durability and engine upgrades first. Cian Shields is getting most of the aero and chassis upgrades first. Just the way I'm playing it so far. I should probably equal it out, and it will be equal towards the end of the year. But for now, that's what we're going with. It's time to do the practice programs for the British Grand Prix. So we're going to get maximum resource points from this Silverstone practice session. The only practice session, as it is a sprint weekend. We've got 2 bites at the cherry to get points with Cian Shields today and have a good performance with him. Last time we ran out of fuel with him, so hopefully I'll put enough fuel in the car. There was a bit of a worry last weekend in Austria about Roman Stanek's gearbox towards the end of the race, so we're going to cut all worry out this weekend. We've put a new gearbox in Cian's car. In the 2025 Formula 2 season, Roman Stanek got a podium here at Silverstone. Cian only managed 14th place as his best result. He's going to be aiming to do better than that in Formula 1 this weekend. As I said, 2 bites at the cherry here with the sprint and the main race. So let's head into sprint qualifying here at Silverstone.
It's sprint qualifying time, slightly shorter than the normal Grand Prix qualifying, but today we'll determine who starts on pole for the sprint to come.
As we come into Vale to complete Cian Shields' first lap here in SQ1 on the medium tyres, of course. That's the rules of sprint qualifying. I've had to put it in medium mode to stop us from running out of battery throughout the lap, but we cross the line. We're 5/10 slower than Bottas. And it's a 1:29.4, so it's not a good lap at all. And we're a bit wide. Cian Shields struggling for battery on this lap, but we're going to come across the line now to finish our lap and finish SQ1. Where does that lap put us? Is it any better than... And it's not any better than 23rd. It looks like the sprint race is going to have to be a testing session. So we improved by 3/10 over the line. Unfortunately, that was nowhere near enough to get through to SQ2. We needed another half a second, which is unfortunate. We almost beat Lance Stroll though. We were 500ths away from beating the Canadian GOAT. So let's go into the sprint race, use it as a testing session, and we'll hit the main race with full force. But we'll have fun in the sprint and see how we get on.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Russell, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Piastri, Verstappen, Hadjar, Gasly, and Carlos Sainz, Albon, Colapinto, Liam Lawson, and Ocon, Behrman, Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Nico Hülkenberg, Lindblad, Bottas, Bortoletto, Stroll, Shields, and Roman Stanek rounds off the grid.
Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'll try and take care of the car. We're just going to start on the mediums and not come into the pits. If we come into the pits, it's pretty much race over anyway. Pit lane is so long here at Silverstone, it's just race ending as it is. So 9 laps here at Silverstone, and let's go and see how Cian Shields does for the first part of his home Grand Prix. He's got 2 parts, and hopefully the first one is as exciting as Austria. No one has opted for the soft tyre strategy, and rightly so, because it's basically a race ender. As soon as you decide to start on the soft here in the sprint, I'm going to be very worried about the battery. I mean, I could barely save it in qualifying, never mind a 9-lap sprint, but it's good practice for the race as we line up in 23rd position. We're going to angle it slightly in between Bortoleto and Stroll, and the lights are now on for the sprint race here in Silverstone. 5 red lights. And the sprint race is underway. A bit of wheel spin for Cian Shields, but we're going to put the boost on and the straight line mode. And we're going to boost towards turn 1, getting up the inside of Bottas and Stroll. We've already got past Bortoleto. Stroll tries to go around the outside, and he's gotten back past us. But in towards turn 3, we've got the inside. We're not going to go up the inside of Lindblad and Hulkenberg, though. That might spell disaster. But Stroll's still there. He's got the inside for turn 4. We might get a better line, though, around the outside. We can get the power down a bit earlier than the Canadian. And we boost around the outside of the Aston Martin, and we're going to go up the inside of Hulkenberg down the Wellington straight. Lindblad's gone defensive, but we're going to go up the inside of him as well. What a start here for Cian Shields. This is fantastic. A bit deep though into Brooklands, but we're up to P18. That's 5 positions here on lap 1, and I'm very, very happy with that. I did not expect that here. We're definitely having some fun here in the sprint race. Hulkenberg tried around the outside of Luffield, through Woodcut now. Behrman's wide and up towards Copse. No moves here, thank goodness for that. We don't want our 2021 remake. But right now, up to 18th position. I can calm down a little bit and just focus on keeping with the group in front and see what we can do on the hanger straight. As we might get a good exit out of Maggots and Beckett's through Chapel now. We've got the boost on and the straight line mode. We are catching up to Behrman. He's going around the outside of Perez. We're going to go to the inside of the Mexican and get past the Cadillac into Stowe. And he's going to try and hang around the outside. We're not going to really show him much room though, but we're up to 17th position. That's a fantastic start for Cian Shields. We're happy with that. 6 places on lap 1 as Lewis Hamilton leads his home sprint race. We've got overtake mode from Behrman. Hopefully we can use it, and hopefully they don't start pulling away throughout the next few laps. Like I said, we'll use the sprint race as a tester for tomorrow, because yes, we've gained 6 positions and we're in 17th, but the points are only the top 8 in the sprint races, so I doubt we're going to gain another 9 positions. We've got Lundblad behind us, but that rookie is not silly enough to go up the inside of Copse. But he might go up the inside of Maggots and Beckett's and copy Behrman from a few laps ago, and he does. And we are out of battery, so even if we remembered to shift it up to 8th gear, we would have still been overtaken by Lundblad, but it's just not going to go well for us. We just can't seem to keep the battery. I'm on medium, not on hot lap like I was in Bahrain accidentally. Lap 5 of this sprint race coming down the Wellington straight. We're still in overtake mode of Lundblad. He's bringing us closer to Alonso, but Alonso is falling off from that group in front, so it's not really good enough, to be honest. We don't really have the pace. I think it's mainly battery related for me. If it had more battery, I'd be much quicker. But Hulkenberg coming towards us, in towards Copse, up the inside. He's going to try to go around the outside. He's going a bit deep there, but he's kept the position. And Hulkenberg surprised me there into Copse. We could try and get him back into Maggots and Beckett's, maybe around the outside. What an audacious move from Cian Shields, but it's done. Unfortunately, we're not going to get overtake mode anymore from Arvid Lundblad, I don't think. No, we'd need to catch up a second within 2 corners, and that's not possible. And we have no battery, so we're going to be under threat on lap 6 anyway, as Lundblad gets past Fernando Alonso for 16th position. But right now, we're not catching up to Lundblad. We won't have overtake for lap 7 at this rate unless Bottas goes through, but I don't really want to let anyone else through. We've gained 5 positions in this race so far. Well, we gained 6 and then we lost 1, but that's okay. I'm sure we can manage as we're a bit wide through Copse once again, and maybe Bottas will have a run in towards Maggots and Beckett's. No, Hulkenberg having to go at Bottas here. We don't even have enough power to get into 8th gear. That's okay. It's all a learning curve this season. Through Copse, that's going to be a warning. Yes, it is. And we're going to be under attack by Bottas into Maggots and Beckett's, but luckily the fin isn't close enough on lap 7 of this 9-lap sprint race, as we're very wide through Beckett's. And there's going to be we're going to get swamped down the hanger straight. Got Bottas and Bortoleto. I don't know where Hulkenberg's gone to. We're going to stick to the inside as the Cadillac goes around the outside. Maybe we'll get him under braking, and we do. We lift and coast a little bit, save a bit more battery, but the Cadillac's not passed yet, and we've got 2 more laps to hold him off. We're on to the final lap now. Well, we're about to be on to the final lap here as Max Verstappen's in the pits. What's happened to Max Verstappen? Why is he pitting with 1 lap left? We've gone up a position. We're up to 17th. Let's see if we can keep it on this final lap. We've just got to keep Bortoleto and Bottas at bay. I don't know where the rest of the cars have gone, if there's been a little battle behind that's created a mini gap. Bottas is trying to make a move into Copse. He's going to try and go to the inside. Surely not Valtteri Bottas of Copse copying his old teammate Lewis Hamilton, and that's not really worked out. We might get away. I'm not quite sure. I'm just looking up at the delta and we've got no battery left. We're going to try and save through Magnussen and Beckett and get a good run down the hangar straight. These positions don't score any points. It's just pride at this point. And down the hangar straight, we're out of battery. Lewis Hamilton wins the sprint race, but we're getting swamped here on the final lap. Bortoletto's going towards the inside. Can we swoop around the outside of the Audi? Once again, no, we can't. We just, we've been swamped on the final lap. Maybe a move into Vale on Bortoletto. We'll risk it. He goes a bit defensive. He's moving on to braking tiny bit there. We've gone up the inside of Bortoletto to take 18th position. And we've done it. 18th place in the sprint race. We've gained 5 positions. And that was, it was okay. It was good enough. I need to really do my studying about the battery here at Silverstone. It's very difficult. The AI seem to have a lot more battery power than I do. Because Bottas gets driver of the day. Why would that be? Well, that went better than the last sprint we did with Cian Shields. Obviously, we hit Roman Stanek in Canada and lost a front wing end plate. But today, we ended up finishing without any damage. Lewis Hamilton wins the sprint race here. His teammate Charles Leclerc from pole fell to 4th position. Lando Norris and George Russell round off the podium. It's an all-British podium here at the British sprint race. Well, the script writers couldn't have got it any better. Well, they could have got it better. They could have put Cian Shields in the points. Piastri, Antonelli, Sainz and Hadjar round off the points here in the sprint. And sadly, that means Williams are moving further away from us in the constructors. But at this point, they were really never in our fight after Monaco. I just keep saying Williams and Alpine. It's really Alpine that we're in the fight with. But Alpine didn't score points either. Gasly 9th, Colapinto 13th. Cian Shields comes home in 18th from 23rd on the grid. We did really well on the first lap, but unfortunately, we just lost grip to Lindblad and Alonso in front, and that was it. That was the race from then on. We were just defending. Roman Stanek came home in 23rd. He gained a position, but that's because Max Verstappen was in the pits. One thing's for certain after that sprint race, and I will be studying the battery tonight before tomorrow's main race, because I don't know where everyone else is pulling all their battery from. I seem to be out of it all the time, whereas they just fly past me on every given opportunity. Before that though, it's qualifying for the British Grand Prix, and I just hope there's not a Caterham on the back row, but I can't keep any promises.
Welcome along everybody to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
As we come through Stowe for our first lap here in Q1, as you can see, it has been quite a while since I've recorded the sprint, but hopefully that just makes me faster. This is only a banker lap. I need to work on my battery usage for our second lap in Q1, but as we cross the line, it is a 1:29.2, and we're ahead of Lawson and our teammate Roman Stanek. That's really nice through Maggots and Beckett's put whatever's left of the battery on as we come down the hangar straight. We're 5 tenths up on Bottas, who currently sits 20th. Both Caterhams are on the back row as it stands, but we are going to be the last car across the line through Stowe and now Vale and into the club chicane and the club section of the track. We've not got any battery left. We've mastered that braking zone. Can we get a good exit here? We just need to try not let the back end step out. It has a little bit, put whatever battery we've got left on as we cross the line. And where does that lap put us here in Q1? It's 16th, we're through to Q2. What a lap there for Cian Shields. That's much better than in sprint qualifying. And as Oscar Piastri tops the session, the homeboy Cian Shields is through to Q2. We've pipped Liam Lawson to Q2 by 1.5 tenths. Lando Norris is out in Q1. The reigning champion and the current championship leader is out. And we've knocked him out by 2 tenths. He starts 20th tomorrow as Roman Stanek, our teammate, lines up in last position. We're only going to do one lap here in Q2, and it's going to be on the Q3 set of tyres. I used both sets of tyres for Q1 and Q2 in the first session as we completely miss the apex of turn 1 through farm curve now and into the loop. Let's see what we can do on this lap, but we do need a 1:28.2 if we want to get through to Q3, and I can't promise it's going to be anything like last time at the Red Bull Ring, but let's come down the Wellington Straight and see what we can do. Where are we compared to Colapinto there? We're 4 tenths up on Colapinto apparently, and that is very good going for Cian Shields. Obviously, he's got a lot of momentum here, getting through to Q2 at home. A bit of a slide there through Luffield, and let's get the power down and the battery on as we come through towards Copse. We don't want to use all the battery, but it seems to be depleting very quickly. We're not going to have any come through Maggots and Beckett's down to 7th gear. Through Copse very nicely. Qualifying is over. We're going to be the last car to set a lap. And where is it going to put us? We're going to lose so much time here in this final sector. What can we do through Maggots and Beckett's? Through down to 5th gear. A nice run through here. We're a bit wide. We are a bit wide as we come through Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. And we're a 10th and a half up on Colapinto. We're just going to be hemorrhaging time as we come towards Stowe. We're a bit wide again, but maybe we can power through it. We need a good final section here at Club. We don't necessarily need much battery here, but we've not done it as well as we did in Q1. I don't think we're going to get through to Q3, but where will this lap put Cian Shields here for the British Grand Prix as we cross the line? Is it better than 17th? It is. 15th position for Cian Shields. We had it all in the first sector. Q3 could have been possible, I think, if we didn't use up all the battery as we came out of Luffield, but it is 15th position for Cian Shields for the British Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix, as Ocon, Bearman, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg and Stroll join us out in Q2. We're nearly the quickest Audi. Nearly, but we didn't quite make it. Let's head in to the British Grand Prix and see what we can do. Do we have the race pace? Obviously, we didn't have any pace at all in the sprint. We just completely fell like a stone. We had a massive train behind us. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the race. Let's see how Cian Shields gets on at his home Grand Prix.
Welcome to not only the home of British motorsport, but also the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, a classic on the calendar, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. The 3.6 mile long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and of Copse flat out. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Verstappen, George Russell and Hadjar, Sainz, Gasly, Lindblad and Esteban Ocon, Bearman, Hamilton, Franco Colapinto and Bortoleto, Shields, Hulkenberg, Lance Stroll and Liam Lawson, Albon, Norris, Bottas, Alonso, Perez and Roman Stanek rounds off the grid.
So Hamilton would have been on the front row, but instead we can see him right in front of us there in 12th position. He's taken a grid penalty for a component. I'm surprised McLaren haven't done the same for Lando Norris. I think a one-stop is probably going to be better here. I know it's going to be hard on the tyres. Yeah, it says it's going to be 14 seconds quicker. So I think we're going to have to do a one-stop here. Cian Shields is very good at making the one-stop work. As we know from Japan, he went from 24th on the grid to P10 at the very end. And he got Caterham and himself another point. Let's head in to the British Grand Prix and see what we can do. Can Cian Shields get another point at home this time? Or will it be another race of despair? Caterham have good momentum though from Roman Stanek's performance in Austria. We don't have good momentum from the sprint race though, so hopefully we can actually keep up with the cars in front. 26 laps of Silverstone then for the British Grand Prix. Most cars are on the soft tyres, only a handful on the mediums, and they are all around us on the grid. As we line up here, we're going to angle it slightly so we can get a nice, if we can fit in that nice gap between Colapinto and Bortoleto, that would be gorgeous. Just like the sprint race, and Stanek has lined up, and we've got the lights on for the British Grand Prix. There's 5 red lights, and that's a long hold, but it's lights out here. There's a bit of wheel spin as well, but as we get going, we get the boost on, and Hulkenberg has jumped Bortoleto as well off the start as we look to go up the inside of Colapinto, and Hulkenberg's going to try and go around the outside of us, which turns to the inside, and now the outside again as we come through Village. As we're up the inside of Hulkenberg, Lindblad's had a poor start there on his mediums, but Hulkenberg has got the inside again through the loop. As we now come towards Aintree and the Wellington Straight. Can we hang around the outside of the Audi? Yes, we can, and within track limits as well. Lindblad, a poor start on his mediums. We're going to go up the inside in towards Brooklands, and it's a nice start up towards 13th position, and we've made the move stick on the other rookie of Lindblad. Can we sneak around the outside of Colapinto as well? No, we cannot. We're just going to tuck in behind. The RB doesn't hit us as well, just like in Bahrain. But it's a nice start so far, just like the sprint race. We have gained places. Colapinto, very, very rash there. He went to the outside of Hamilton through Copse, and he's made it up the inside of Hamilton. That was dodgy there, went to the outside, then the inside, and Hamilton has perfected the switch back there. We're right on the back of the Alpine though, but now through Maggotts and Beckett's we might be able to get a run through Chapel and then onto the Hangar Straight, but we have been hit there by Lindblad. He was optimistic there to make a move. We've got the battery on now, and can we get past Colapinto? Yes we can. Down the Hangar Straight, can we make another move on Hamilton and Ocon as well? Ocon's very slow there in the Haas, he must be out of battery. We're not going to chance up the inside of Hamilton, but we are up the inside of Ocon. It reminds me of Barcelona. Ocon hangs around the outside though. Someone's peeling into the pits. It looks like a Williams. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to keep around the outside of Ocon here on lap 1. We get the inside for the club chicane, and we also get overtake mode on Ollie Bearman. Charles Leclerc leads the way as Sainz was the one in the pit lane, but that is a chaotic first lap here in Britain, and let's see if it carries on that way. But right now I think we're the best placed medium tyre runner, which is looking very good for Cian Shields. Obviously all these cars will be making at least 2 stops, whereas we are on the 1 stop, so we just need to save our tyres. So it doesn't really matter if Ocon gets back past us or Colapinto or anyone on the soft tyres. We just need to make these tyres last and see where we can get on. As through Brooklands, we're very wide actually. We're very wide, but we've kept it on the road and we're still in the distance of Bearman. We're still very close to the other British driver on the grid. We're closing a lot here in towards Cop, so we're going to have to go for the move. He's very slow. These Haas cars are not very good at managing their battery in the first few laps. I say that, we're on 23%, but they are very slow on the straights. Hamilton has made a break for it up in front. He's 2 seconds in front, so we're not going to get overtake mode on lap 3 of this Grand Prix, but we just need to try and keep 9th position. It's so chaotic, I didn't even realise we were sitting in a points paying position so far. Cian Shields, what a start here at home, as Bearman and Ocon are battling behind. We don't need to worry just yet. They are both closing, but they're not close enough as we head into Stowe. We have struggled a lot here on lap 3 with no overtake mode, as Gasly and Hamilton have pulled out nearly a 3-second gap in front. Ocon's going to go past us, and so is Alex Albon, and Lando Norris is up to 12th already. We're only on lap 3 of the Grand Prix. He started 20th, so that's a fantastic start for the reigning and current World Championship leader. But we're down to 11th, and I'm not stressing just yet, because once the pit stops work out, we still might be in a good position. We just need to keep these tyres intact, and it might look very good for Cian Shields. He's only scored 3 points this season, and he's looking for more here at home, and what a day it would be if he could grab some more. Norris doesn't get past us in towards Village just yet. Albon goes up the inside of Esteban Ocon in towards Brooklands, and Norris has a look up the inside of us as well. Norris is closing a lot here in towards Cops. He goes to the inside, he's looking to the inside. Lando Norris, he's going to force us a bit wide though. If we get a warning for this, I'll be raging. Norris alongside us as we head up towards Maggotts and Beckett's. We're going to let him through, although Mark is telling me to get the place back. I'm just going to hold off for now. If we can follow Norris through here, and look at the downforce that McLaren has and the grip through Maggotts and Beckett's. We have lost a bit of time, but we just need to focus on saving the battery. We are going to close up to Norris here, but even if we do get close enough, I'm not going to go for a move. Lyco is key, especially at this point in the race. We need to save these tyres. I've probably burnt them out a bit too much for my liking at this point of the Grand Prix. Norris gets past Ocon for 10th position. The McLaren flying in this race so far as we're on lap 5. There's a bit of a train forming there. There's an Alpine at the front of it, so Gasly obviously struggling. We've got Colapinto behind us. He's not going to have a look in towards Stowe this lap, but he is slowly closing as they're 3 wide up in front. Norris making a move on Gasly and Lindblad. Is that? No, it's not. It's Albon? I'm not quite sure, but Norris making moves here at the British Grand Prix as Ocon goes up the inside of Hadjar. The Red Bull obviously struggling, but this is good for us as we're right on the back of the Frenchman. We're not going to make a move into the final corner because this is disaster if we try and stick a nose up there. Maybe in towards the first corner. No, we're just going to stick behind Gasly and Ocon side by side as we're going to sneak up the inside of Hadjar in towards Village. No, we're going to stay behind for now, as Ocon and Gasly still side by side. The two former teammates at Alpine. They've got a bit of beef in their history between them, although they were good friends at the start. Gasly comes out on top right now, but we've snuck around the outside of Hadjar and we might be able to get Ocon down towards Brooklands. No, he goes to the inside of Gasly. We're going to go to the outside. That was probably a mumble jumble of words, but we're around the outside of Pierre Gasly here, and we're back into the points. Cian Shields, very well done as Gasly's backed off. He's behind us now, but he might get us into Cops as we're right behind Ocon. Actually, we're closing in on Ocon. These Haas cars, when they've run out of battery, they really run out of battery. We're up the inside of Cops, and it's worked out very well. We're in front once again, up to 9th position. Oh wow, that was a battle and a half. I don't even know if I made sense when we went to the outside of Gasly. It was all happening so quickly as Ocon sticks a nose up the inside of Beckett's. And that he knew that was a stupid idea, because he's going to get us right here down the back straight, the hanger straight. And there we go. Gasly, Ocon and Hadjar sneak around the outside. And that was a great battle. It's literally a carbon copy of the Wellington straight. Ocon, I thought he was going to pit there, but he doesn't. Hadjar backs out in towards Club as we sneak around the outside of the Frenchman. We're 3 Frenchmen in this battle and 1 British driver. 1 Scottish driver, shall I say, of Cian Shields. But we're sitting 11th right now. This battle is nice, but I just wonder how that front left is looking. 42% on lap 7. We need to get to lap 11 or 12. And then it will be a fantastic race from then on, because that'll be our stop done, unless we get any damage or whatever. But right now, Gasly, wow, that was a big snap for the Alpine, exiting the loop, and we're past him. We're up into 10th. Gasly, wow, surprised he didn't loop it there at the loop. Haha, but we're into 10th position. Oh, wow. This race is very frantic here on lap 7. Coming through Chapel there, we are out of battery. I think Gasly might get us, but Hadjar's closing in a lot as well. The Red Bull goes to the outside of Stowe. We might beat him under braking though, we do, but he's going to hang it around the outside on his soft tyres. We're just going to stick behind Hadjar as Ocon pits. Hadjar lifting and coasting. Wow, that really caught me off guard, and Gasly's taking advantage of that. He's round the outside in Club, and we can't really go full battle with... Oh, that's actually Colapinto. Never mind, Gasly must have pitted. I'm not quite sure. Yes, he did. Gasly's in the pits. Colapinto was very sneaky there, taking advantage of us having to back off because of Hadjar. But we are very low on battery as we start lap 8, and we need to start saving it, because these cars are going to start pitting around us, and then we'll have no one to get overtake mode from, and we'll just be struggling there with no battery and no power, obviously. On the hanger straight once again, we're out of battery, and Colapinto goes through there on his soft tyres. Surely he'll be pitting soon though, as Mark tells me to focus. Yet they're not in our race, but everyone behind us now is, as the cars in front pit. Colapinto and Hadjar into the pit lane, and so are the top 3. So Cian Shields is going to be leading his home Grand Prix here. Who would have said that? Who would have thought that at the start of the season? As we come across to take the lead, it was Hamilton in the lead. What a top 5 that is. Shields, Perez, Lundblad, Bottas and Lawson. And if they're all on the one stop with me, this could be a very, very exciting race. How's this going to end up? So we are boxing this lap 12 of 26 here at Silverstone. The front left tyre has seen better days. It's at 83%. But let's come into the pit lane. Cian Shields, I don't even know where the line is. But can we make it in on the speed limit? Yes, we can. It's down at 37 miles per hour. Cian Shields has led the British Grand Prix for quite a few laps, but he's in now for a set of hard tyres. The leaders were almost behind us, so I'm not quite sure the strategy is even going to work out. As we're in optimal turn in, and away we go. 2.4 seconds from the team. Let's see where we come out. I think we're going to be undercut from everyone else around us, as we did stay quite a few laps later, and the front runners were even alongside us by the time we came in. We've been undercut by Perez and Hülkenberg, but this strategy might work out well. I know Perez and Bottas are on the hards there, so we need to get past them as the Cadillacs look for their first points of the season. But it's looking promising here. We just need to keep these tyres intact, and hopefully by the end of the race they won't be at 83% like the mediums were. This tyre grip really is night and day, as Perez goes up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg in towards Kops. He's held them both up, and we're going to take advantage of that and go past both of them as we head into Magnussen Beckett's. We're up into 16th position. Next up is Valtteri Bottas, as we do get an exceeded track limits warning. How did we get it through Magnussen Beckett's? I don't know. What an idiot. But we're in 16th position. We've come out quite low from the pit lane, but we're going to close up on Bottas as well, and we're going to go up the inside of the Cadillac. These tyres, it's literally like night and day. Honestly, it's like night and day between these and the 83% medium tyres. Next up is Ollie Behrman. Esteban Ocon has retired at Maggots, but there's not been a safety car or a virtual safety car given out for it. These race directors are pretty stingy when it comes to deploying them, as we know from previous races. Because of that though, we're up to 14th position, but we're struggling to catch up to Ollie Behrman in front. We're just keeping the gap to him and keeping the gap to Bottas behind. Bottas doesn't have overtake mode on us behind either, so it might be a lonely stint before they all pit again. I'm not sure if the Cadillacs will pit again, but I'm pretty sure everyone else will. Saying that, I'm not quite sure if Lundblad and Lawson are going to pit again. They're both on the hard tyres, and they were on the mediums for the first stint. I've really struggled with the battery here when I'm not in overtake mode of anyone. on the final laps before our pit stop, it was a big struggle to save the battery, so I probably lost a heap of time, but hopefully this strategy lets us catch it back up. There's a lot of cars in the pit lane as we start lap 17. Has our pace been good enough to beat the Mercedes and the Ferrari? No, as Russell and Leclerc come out just in front of us, but this is nice actually. Our pace wasn't too bad compared to their end of tyre life pace, so it's looking quite good. Lawson is directly behind us and Verstappen as well, so we're up to P10. I'm not quite sure who has to pit yet. Russell and Leclerc are flying on these new tyres. Lundblad stays out as everyone else in front pits, so I think the three in front of us aren't pitting again, and this is for position with Max Verstappen behind, but I'm not quite sure if I should battle Max that much. I think he's going to fly past us anyway, as where are we going to sit as we come through turn 1? There comes Norris out of the pit lane, and we're just sitting behind Lando Norris and in 6th position, so this is looking good for Cian Shields. If we can keep everyone else behind, that would be perfect, but I'm not quite sure we'll be able to keep Antonelli and Verstappen behind, so maybe P8 might be on the cards here in Silverstone. We just need to wait and see how we get on, but Antonelli is not going to hang about. He's going to look to get past us in towards Brooklands. We're going to defend a little bit. I'll let the Mercedes go up the inside, but he's hit us. Oh, I went a bit wide to compensate, but Antonelli went so deep. He ended up making contact with our front wing, and now Verstappen is round the outside as well. There he goes. Max Verstappen, we're going to use the boost and get back ahead of the Red Bull though, and back up into 7th position. Was that a bad thing? Probably, because down the hanger straight we're not going to have any battery whatsoever, and we are going to get a track. No, we're not going to get a track limit, but what is going to happen is Max Verstappen is going to challenge us into Magnussen and Beckett. We're going to have to... Whoa, he's hit us. Max Verstappen, we didn't really leave him much room there. I was trying to look in the mirror. We might have floor damage from that, but I'm not quite sure. As down the hanger straight now, Max Verstappen is going to fly past us. I probably shouldn't be battling Verstappen right now, as he is probably going to get past us at some point in the next 8 laps, but right now we stay in 7th position. We've got Lundblad in front as Antonelli's got past him already. Max Verstappen is closing, is going to go around the outside of us in towards Copse. Can we keep the inside? Is it going to be a repeat of 2021? Max turns in, he goes very wide as we make contact with the 4-time world champion, and he's going to get us into Magnussen and Beckett. We drifted a bit wide, just like Hamilton did. It was literally a carbon copy, but this time the Red Bull wasn't backwards in the wall at Copse corner, but we've fallen down to 8th position, but we do have a 2.3 second gap to Lawson behind, so we've got 7 laps left in this Grand Prix after this one, and we might be on for points again. We're back up to 7th position because Lundblad decided to pit at the end of lap 19, and it's looking very good for Cian Shields now. 2.2 second gap to Albon behind, and we can lose 3 places and still be in the points, but I see a McLaren there on the mini-map, so I am a bit worried of who that is. That must be Piastri. Maybe he's got a problem, as I'm surprised he's that far down the order. Lap 22 of the British Grand Prix, Verstappen has pulled a nice healthy 3-second gap. But we've got Albon and Hadjar battling behind us, and if they want to keep battling, it might let us breathe for a bit longer before we get dragged into the battle. But I think Albon's right behind us, coming through towards Magnussen and Beckett. We've not got any battery left, so that's a mismanagement from myself. I've been mismanaging the battery all race, and it's just like the sprint race. I've just not been able to save it as much as I wanted to. As onto the hanger straight, Albon is right behind us. He's going to make a move into Stowe. I just know it. We've got no battery to defend. Albon around the outside. The Williams, on you go. Hadjar stays behind for now, but there's a 2.8 second gap to Gasly, or it's now Piastri in 10th, so we might be able to snatch a point here as we lock up in towards Club. That's not very good. Hadjar might have a look at us now. We've bottled that there. We've got overtake mode for lap 23, but we probably won't get it for lap 24 even if we keep Hadjar behind, so we need to be careful here. What are the front left saying? 56%. So this is going to be a difficult final few laps here for Cian Shields. Is he going to get points on his debut home race? I'm not quite sure. Or is it just going to go missing here for Cian Shields? Hadjar goes to the inside of Brooklands. He's going to make it work. Isaac Hadjar in towards 8th position. We're sitting 9th, and we've got a 1.5 second gap to Gasly and Piastri behind, and we just need to be careful now. The tyres are going off. This strategy might not have worked as well as I thought it would, as we've got 4 laps, including this one, left of the Grand Prix. We just need to try and stay within overtake mode of Hadjar, but he's already 6 tenths up the road. This is going to be a big ask for the Caterham cars. We're very wide through Copse, and it's not looking good whatsoever. We're going to have a big battle on our hands in the final 3 laps of this Grand Prix. Hadjar and Albon are battling in front here on lap 24. We managed to get overtake mode from Hadjar, but we're not going to get it
for lap 25 unless they keep battling. Piastri and Gasly are battling behind, and hopefully they can just keep at it as we nearly lose it through Lawfield. We're really under pressure here. Piastri's only 5 tenths behind us. He's probably going to get us down the hanger straight. It's not looking good for the Caterham team to get another point here at the British Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix. Shields' home Grand Prix. It's not looking good as Piastri is going to have a go into Maggots and Beckett's. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind for now, but we just need to save as much battery as we can and deploy it all the way down the straight. As Piastri looks to the inside and Maggots, that's very cheeky there from the Aussie. We nearly lose it as well. Get the straight mode on and the battery, the boost. Is it going to be enough to save us on this straight here down towards Stowe? Yes, it is, as Gasly joins the battle as well. But this battle for 9th is not looking too good. Our tyres are much worse than the Alpine and the McLaren behind. And the loser out of this battle gets no points. But they do get 11th. Well, they get 11th place and no points. And that's not what we want. We want points here for Cian Shields. We've lost overtake mode. There's confirmation from Albon. We're going to have to boost down the main straight in towards Abbey. And it's not looking too good. I'm not very confident on the penultimate lap here of the British Grand Prix. Are we going to have to go defensive from Pierre Gasly? Not just now. He tries it around the outside, but that's never going to happen, Pierre. I'm sorry. You can try that any day of the week, and I'm not going to let you go around the outside of Village. But let's see if we can just get the boost down the Wellington straight. We've got the battery and the straight mode, and I think we've pulled away from Gasly well enough. Yes, we have. He's not going to make a move. And we're safe for now, but the next stop is the hanger straight. Is that going to be the problem? Or even into Copse, as Gasly's right behind us now, but we're going to try and save as much battery as we can and keep the Alpine behind. And I think it's only them two behind. I think there's a massive gap to an Alpine again, and that must be Colapinto. Gasly goes to the outside of Copse. He's not going to make it stick, surely. He's gone off the track. Come on, surely he has to give us a place back. He does, gently. No, he doesn't. Gasly, come on, that's a bit unfair, mate. He's gone off the track to overtake us. Surely he's got to give that back. That's a joke. I'm not happy with that. I'm really not happy with that. Our battery is depleted and Piastri's going to get through, and that, there goes points on the penultimate lap of the race. Gasly with that illegal overtake and Piastri follows him. We've got no tyres left and there's an 8-second gap to Colapinto behind, and just our luck really that Gasly does an illegal overtake and doesn't get punished for it. And we've got to try and catch up to Piastri, but look at them go. I'm just need to push as much as I can. Hamilton's in the pits. Why is Lewis Hamilton in the pits? What's happened there? We're back up to 10th. Oh, no way. Hamilton's pitted on the penultimate lap, going on to the final lap. He's only going to get one lap on these soft tyres, just like Verstappen in the sprint race. I can't believe it. We're going to get points. Cian Shields is going to get points at home. What a stroke of luck that is. I thought I was so disappointed. I thought our chance was gone. And we're going to get points. Can we get 2? Can we get back past Piastri? I doubt it. He's too far up the road now. But I just given up. There's no way we're going to catch Piastri on these tyres, surely. As then I started the lap and saw Hamilton in the pits. So that's amazing. Cian Shields is one very lucky boy. George Russell wins his home Grand Prix here at Silverstone. There's a McLaren and a Ferrari on the podium as well. And obviously Hamilton's not there at his home Grand Prix. I don't know where he was before he had to pit. But it's looking good for Cian Shields. There's a 6-second gap behind. They've closed up 2 seconds in a lap, but that doesn't matter. As through the club chicane and the final corner, Cian Shields is going to get points at home. It's P10 in the British Grand Prix. Come on. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, Cian. The GOAT. Oh. Wow. Lando Norris driver of the day. Well, obviously it was Norris and Leclerc on the podium with George Russell, because Piastri was directly in front of me and Hamilton was directly behind me. But it's points again for Cian Shields. That's 4 in this season so far. I know Stanek has a lot more, but Cian Shields must be very happy with that. The only driver to do the one stop, and I am delighted. That was a stroke of luck that Hamilton pitted. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I was so depleted. I was actually so drained that we weren't going to get points after that strategy, but it's worked out. It has worked out very well. I just want to say that's a champion's drive from Lando Norris, from 20th on the grid to 2nd position. I thought it was all over after qualifying, but obviously not. He has fought back. The rest of the top 10 are Antonelli, Verstappen, Hadjar, Albon, up from 19th to 7th as well. It's a great drive. Gasly and Piastri, and Cian Shields in 10th position. Hamilton just misses out on points. I'm not quite sure why he pitted on the penultimate lap, but I'm not complaining. It's more points for Caterham.
Roman Stanek comes home 21st position ahead of Alonso and Lance Stroll. Stroll the only driver to be lapped and Ocon the only driver to retire. Well, we had many battles there for the main race of the British Grand Prix. Much better than the sprint race, I'll tell you that for free. But Norris is still at the top of the Drivers' World Championship. Russell jumps to second. Leclerc also jumps up to third ahead of Piastri, who drops to 4th position. Stanek and Shields stay 12th and 14th respectively, as Lindblad misses out on points. If he had stayed on the one stop, it was most likely possible for Arvid Lindblad. He was ahead of us. McLaren have a healthy lead in the Constructors' Championship, with Mercedes and Ferrari battling for second. Red Bull are by themselves in 4th. Williams are also by themselves in 5th, as Alpine stretch away from Caterham by 3 more points in that main race. We've got a nice lead of 10 points ahead of Racing Bulls, but all it takes is one race weekend and that gap is decimated. Cadillac and Aston Martin still yet to score in this season, and what a season it is turning out to be. 19 points. Who would have thought that at the start of the year? Not me anyway. I thought it was going to be a very, very difficult one, but I'm happy with that. And Cian Shields is back in the points again, baby. Hell yeah. What a home Grand Prix it was for Cian Shields, bagging another point to his tally and another point for the team. It's just amazing how the one-stop worked. I was quite scared that Cadillac and RB were going to be better than us on the one-stop, but they decided to go for the two-stop. We did struggle a lot today with the battery management, and I don't think it's going to be any easier as we head to Spa-Francorchamps next on the calendar, the 12th round of our 2026 season, and we will have a new livery. I'm very excited to reveal the new livery at the next race weekend, halfway through the season, and hopefully it brings us a bit more performance. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the British Grand Prix. And thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in Belgium.